Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. I'm Saquon. Don't forget, you can always watch this on your own time and listen to it on your own time. You can do that by just going to our InForum YouTube channel. If you didn't know, we have one of those now, so go subscribe to it. We also have, you can find it on your favorite podcast platform, whether that be Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And then you can also find it on inforum.com/podcast and click on InForum Minute. Let's get on with things right away. We did have some breaking news out of Fargo. Actually, we've just talked about this as a team too. We've kind of had a lot of breaking news in our area lately. So this breaking news story had to do with a fire right along NP Avenue there, where for about an hour, NP Ave was closed off right between 8th and 10th Street South. Well, we do know that that road has now been opened back up, and we know that firefighters knocked out a fire in a building right along that stretch. So again, you guys, if you're just joining us this morning, I just said that, NP Avenue has now been opened back up after firefighters were on scene for a few hours this morning trying to battle a fire there. But again, opened back up. So we had our photographer Travis out there live for us this morning, and we got to see firefighters trying to, fan out that building, get the smoke out. And then we also know that a fire investigator and an arson dog were on scene at some point, but they didn't stick around for the entire part, which also was kind of, raising questions within our team because usually after a fire, after they put out a fire investigator or a battalion chief will kind of stay on scene and monitor for hot spots, but it seemed like everyone kind of cleared out right before our show ended at around 7 this morning. So, of course, we're going to have some calls into Fargo Fire this morning. We know that a battalion chief said he was a little bit too early, I'm reading a comment. He said he was a little bit too busy to get us more information right at the scene. So we are expecting more information throughout the day today, which of course you can find on our evening newscast and our new 11 o'clock show, of course. Hopefully we can get you an update by then. All right, new this morning, we know a North Dakota man is seriously hurt after crashing his motorcycle into a ditch while driving back home in Fargo. So that happened right near Michigan, North Dakota at around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. That's about 50 miles west of Grand Forks. 55-year-old Todd Wyman of Bottineau was passing another car. His motorcycle started to wobble, and that's when he crashed into the ditch and was thrown off of his bike. He was wearing a helmet at the time of the crash, but his injuries were serious enough so that he had to go to Altru to get treated for them. So we are trying to figure out how he is doing this morning. We also know closing arguments are expected right away this morning in the case, or in the trial, I should say, of a Fargo man who's accused of stabbing and strangling a 14-year-old girl last summer. That happened right behind Party City in Fargo. Defense wrapped up its case yesterday, included some testimony from Arthur Kollie's sister. His sister was saying, he developed this drinking problem right when their family moved to Fargo, and that's when he apparently started hearing voices in his head. Case is going to go to the jury right after these closing arguments. We're going to be in the courtroom again today. We'll definitely let you know what happens out of that. We also know Minnesota's Attorney General says he's going to be prioritizing making abortion safe, of course, supporting a woman's right to choose. So that's coming from Keith Ellison. He said that during a campaign stop at the Red River Women's Clinic in Moorhead yesterday. He says that he plans to file motions in states that try to prosecute women crossing a border to get an abortion, including North Dakota. He also emphasize the fact that protecting abortion rights in Minnesota is important not just for the state, but also for the entire Midwest. Right now, Fargo School Board members are working out some plans to add another middle and high school. And you're probably thinking, what? Why are they adding more schools? Well, we've been talking about this issue in Fargo Public Schools with overcrowding for such a long time now, and that's exactly why. They really want to combat that problem. So they just actually approved the reading of a 10-year long-range plan to add the schools, which includes building a middle school right on the same land as Davies, and then a high school just west of I-29, So again, this is just to help with overcrowding in the schools south of town, because the board president is saying this has kind of been an issue over the past year as population down there is growing fast. Okay, also, homeowners in West Fargo, listen up, this one is for you. School board there just voted to lower its general mill levy by about 7 mills, but it's not for everyone who own a home in West Fargo. So listen up, it's because of these property valuations that have been going up across the metro. Homeowners who are affected, you're gonna save about $30 on a $100,000 home, and then $80 if you own a $250,000 home. The decrease is likely just because of the increased property values in the district, and then of course the mills needed to pay the district's debts are going down this year. So some good news for some West Fargo homeowners. Okay, really quick construction projects in our area in Fargo. We're going to start there. Crews are going to be shutting down 5th Street Avenue, or oh my gosh, what am I saying? 5th Avenue South, right between 15th and 16th Street South, right by Jefferson Elementary there. It's for some private underground sewer work, and that's expected to last about 10 days. Grand Forks, you're not in the clear either. Intersection of South 4th Street and Minnesota Avenue is going to be closed off right by Central Park. They're going to be repairing a sewer pipeline, and there is a detour. So anyone who lives in that area or on that street, you are asked to take Franklin Avenue as a detour. That's going to be closed for about 2 weeks. Okay, let's get on to this. Okay, we know that right now anglers in Otter Tail and Beltrami counties are being asked to share some of their opinions on some new regulations that you could see next year. DNR is proposing those changes for northern pike in West Battle Lake in Otter Tail, and then Turtle River chain of lakes in Otter Tail and Beltrami counties. So if you want to read a little bit more about that and share your thoughts, here is how you do that. You just have to go on mndnr.gov/fishregs, and then you'll have until October 17th to voice your opinions. Okay, right now, really big relief for those in the rail travel and transport industries. Justin, right before our show this morning, we know that President Joe Biden did announce a tentative agreement was reached overnight, avoiding that major shutdown, which could have included some of our country's biggest railroad companies. Contract negotiations back in August ended with a recommendation, which started a 30-day cool-down period, which was set to end tomorrow. Now, if workers did decide to go on strike, which they could have done today if... or at least tomorrow, if they didn't get that tentative agreement reached, that could have cost the economy $2 billion every day. And then in our region, of course, that could impact farmers as well, who are working to ship their harvest across the country. So that agreement is now going to go to union members for a vote. We'll let you know what comes out of that. All right. And really quick, wanted to let you guys know, if you are active on TikTok, you might have seen this, because I've seen this before too, but I never actually did it. So Chipotle had to put a stop on this viral menu hack that was, on TikTok, and it showed how to get its burrito for cheap. And the trend was that people would just order a single soft taco with all the toppings on the side, and then they would ask for a tortilla, which is kind of common. A lot of people do that. But then, when you do that through the Chipotle app, it's just $3. But then, when you have all of those items, all of those individual ingredients, you can put them together and then use the tortilla, make a regular sized burrito, which typically would cost you about $9 or $10. So people found a way to be kind of strategic, right? And save some money. Well, Chipotle now changed that policy, and it says that a single taco with all of those toppings on the side can no longer be ordered through their app. So they kind of had to put a stop on that. All right. Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Whew, we are approaching FBS matchup, NDSU and Arizona Wildcats, so I'm sure more talk is going to be circulating, of course, around that. He's going to have a lot more to talk about. He always does. Sports Junkie, you know how it goes. 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Also, keep in mind, Red Hawks are playing today, too. So they're going to be playing in Kansas City. We got to check out radar this morning as well, and it seemed like everything's good to go in Kansas City. So this could be win or lose, win or go home, I should say. But yeah, their first pitch of Game 3 is at 6:30 tonight. Stand by. Lydia's going to do her program cut-in. Just wait.
Tracking some thunder showers for you this morning. All of this moving kind of out of the southwest and up to the northeast.
Here's your
really
forecast.
wrapping up on the North Dakota side for now. We won't be done for the day by any means, but we are seeing that kind of fizzle away on the North Dakota side and move on to the Minnesota side. Let's go ahead and zoom into some of these thunder showers through Lakes Country. Otter Tail County down in Grant County seeing a good deal of that rain right now, or at least on the radar, not piling up too much in the gauge. I just got a report from the Otter Tail County area of just under an inch this morning, so we are seeing some of that accumulate. And then it does get a little more sparse further up to the north. Nice looking thunder shower right now with some heavy rain, thunder, and lightning on the Canadian side of the international border.
Killed it.
I've got one more.
All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, you guys, just hang tight. We're just going to wait for Lydia to wrap up her cut-ins.
Tracking scattered thunder showers as we roll throughout Thursday night, and Friday. So a good chunk of time here where we're dealing with some active and kind of unsettled weather. Here we are paused at 10 p.m. tonight, and we still have these same thunder showers. Nothing severe, not talking about hail or damaging wind, but some noisy storms with some of that thunder, lightning, and heavy rain. Wind turning around to the north, that feeds in cooler air for tomorrow, and high temperatures will only be near 60 degrees. We still have these thunder showers as we head throughout your Friday. Your winter pause at lunchtime. Notice this batch down to the south. It builds its way up to the north, especially as we head toward high school football. Your winter pause at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We will have some rain, especially up north.
And there's your forecast, guys. All right. Okay, let's get back into it really quick before we end this Facebook Live. Wanted to let you know, of course, you can always get 99 cents for your first 3 months. You can just get an all-access pass on InForum.com. All you got to do is go on InForum.com/subscribe. That's really all I had left for you today. All right, guys, don't forget to join Becky Parker and Dylan Vogt at our new at 11 o'clock show. So that's in about 3 hours now. So don't flip the channel. We're going to continue coverage all throughout the day. All right, and then we, of course, have our evening newscast 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 as well, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning from 5 to 7. We're going to talk a little bit about NDSU and Arizona NDSU playing in Arizona and talking a little bit about weather. I know Dylan's going to be talking about that for us. And then, of course, UND is also going to be in Arizona tomorrow as well, or this weekend as well. So if you're heading down there or up there, gosh, I can't even focus today. If you are heading over there for the game, or if you know people, maybe good idea for you to tune in and get a check at weather in Arizona. All right, everybody, we'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning from 5 to 7. Bye.